Hey guys, welcome back to the ranch. Today we didn't do any milling. It's been raining off and on all day. Every time I try to do something outside, it'd pour for a minute or two, and then the sun would come out, and then it would start pouring again. So we didn't get very much done. I did work on the log splitter. I will show you that probably here in the next couple of videos. It's a homemade log splitter with a box wedge, and it works pretty well. I have a few bugs. I had a few bugs to iron out, and I think I got that ironed out pretty well. So, but let's do. Let me show you guys the little bunnies while we're down here. So this is Mama here. Oh, there's the babies. Here we go. These little fluffs right there. Come on, don't be camera shy. They're getting big. Come on. There we go. Yep, they're all doing really well. Little brown one back here. All right. Let's go check out the pigs. There they are. They're back there. Yeah, walk in there. Let's see if this... Nope, it's turned off. That fence is electric. And getting zapped by it is no joke. That sucker hurts. Let's see. There they are. I'm trying to nurse. Good. Yep. There we go. Just a little update. But let me lock everything, button everything up here, and I have something important to talk about. So let's get this buttoned up here. Take it easy. So. Yeah, not too much else going on here, other than not being on the mill because of the rain. But you know, let's actually we're going to head on up to the mill real quick, and I'll meet you guys up there. All right, we're up here at the mill. So I'm going to talk about something important real quick. And then afterwards, I'm going to answer a question or two I got on the on our channel. So I had a buddy come over and dump brush from an excavating job that he does or did, and he didn't know I had a YouTube channel, and he came and he was like, "Do you have TikTok?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not on TikTok, but do you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got YouTube." And he goes, "Well, there's someone stealing your videos." So he sent me a screenshot of the profile. So I have that here. I'm going to share that. Where'd he go? Here we go. TikTok is based out of California. And it looks like he does logging also, or he's been stealing a bunch of other logging videos. But it is I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I'll see if you guys can see that. I don't know if you guys can see that name there. I'll put it in the description below, but I don't know how clear that's going to come in. But it's NAMBUI3113, and his channel has 58 followers, 209.1 thousand followers, and then 1.1 million likes. So yeah, and the videos that he stole from me have 3.9 million views. The other one has 1,500 views. So my videos are doing pretty well on his channel. So maybe I should go and start a TikTok and start posting there. But yeah. So if you're on TikTok and you want to go and see some of my other videos, you can go over to his channel and watch them before I report him and try to shut him down. Because I'm pretty sure he's trying to monetize his channel and get paid for my hard work. So yeah. But let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to start a TikTok. I used to have a TikTok channel, but I was spending way too much time scrolling through the videos and actually not really making videos. So I went ahead and deleted my TikTok. So, but I might start uploading again to might create another account for the TikTok. But yeah. All right, so let's answer some questions. I had someone ask, now I'm trying to find it. It had something to do with the pulley. I can't find it anymore. I have a bunch of questions on here and comments I need to answer. I need to spend some time this evening and answer some. But one of them was asking, with the new pulley on the engine, do I notice the engine bogging down with the when I'm milling logs? No, I don't. I milled a big pine and I milled a pretty decent sized poplar. Those are all softwood. I haven't put an oak on here yet to see if I notice a difference, but that will probably be in about a week. I'll probably put an oak log on here to see, but it cuts really nice. With increasing the RPM on the blade, the blade cuts are straighter, and I have less wobble in the blade. Even when it heats up, that one log that you guys saw that had a lot of tension in it, The blade did heat up a bit, and the blade had very little wobble to it. But before, the blade would heat up and the blade would just, would just be all over the place. And I noticed that with the increased RPM that I'm having to adjust the blade guides less. And I know it's still early. It's really too early to tell. But I haven't really had to mess with the blade guides too much. I did there when when I hit that one pine log that was under some severe tension. I had to adjust the blade guides for that, but other than that, I haven't really had to mess with them too much. I don't notice any heat in my bearings. I have a bearing under the deck. I got a bearing right here, and I got a bearing on the back, and they stay pretty cool. So the added RPM hasn't really done anything there. The belt tensioner noise is about the same with the increased RPM in the belt. I haven't noticed any other noises with that. The only other thing is the sawdust. The sawdust seems to be bigger chunks, which I don't. I want to have a little bit down here. This is more. Let's see here if you guys can see. I don't know if you guys can see the quality in this or not, but I mean, this is from the new RPM speed. These are the kind of shavings that sawdust I'm getting off the poplar, and then the pine's a lot different. So it's not with poplar. I noticed I was getting a lot of really fine dust from the slower RPM. Now I'm starting to actually get wood chunks instead of dust. I mean, I'd still call this sawdust, but this is like perfect horse quality sawdust that people use in their stalls for their in their barns for their horses. So yeah, haven't really noticed too much different with the pine. The pine's about the same. The poplar, though, it seemed to have, with the slower blade, it had a more finer powder than actual chips. So now I'm getting more chips. So carriage speed, haven't really noticed too much. Haven't really had to adjust how hard I push the stick, because all that runs off of the mandrel, which sped up. Yeah, but like I said, it's too early to tell. So when I run a couple thousand board feet through this, I'll definitely probably post another update. And if I forget, you guys can remind me. But the other comment was, guy asked me why I don't use my tapers, and I use them sometimes. A lot of times I notice, and if you go over and watch Mark over at Bus Motor Production, he says this a lot, that you use your tapers on the front of the log, you lose lumber on the back side of the log. In theory, I guess that could be true, but I know a lot of sawyers that use tapers a lot, and they never really mention much about losing much material on the backside of the log. So maybe one day I'll try to test that theory out and actually see if you do really lose much. But I think the amount of material that you lose, it wouldn't even matter too much because of all the bark and the wane and stuff on the backside. It's not really the heartwood. So I think you're still gaining the same amount of board foot your first cut is going to be a straighter, it's going to be a straighter, longer piece, because your blade is, because you moved that taper out. But for me personally, I do use them sometimes, not a lot, because sometimes this, with a log with a huge taper, it's a rather large log, so I don't want the slab wood to be a huge heavy chunk for Judy to have to move, or Lander to have to move by himself. So yeah, I try, like, if it has a huge taper, I'll just take off those small little chunks, and that's just my personal style of milling. But I do, like, if I have a log that has a bow to it, I'll use a taper on the one side, and then I'll dog it down. And the other, yeah, now if we have a log that has a huge taper, I'm talking about more than I guess 18-20 inch taper at the bottom. Some of these logs at the one end is like 36 inches and the other is like 22-23 inches. So if it has a huge taper, or has a the trunk of it is extremely wide, I'll use a taper. I'll pull that front end out a bit, or the top end out of it. Other than that, I don't really mess with the tapers, especially on this mill, because you have to walk behind the carriage and move the log taper manually, and sometimes it's just more of a hassle to move it than it's worth. And the amount of lumber that you get is not, I don't see a really that big of a benefit. Now if it comes down to a safety thing, then most definitely I'll go back, I'll push the taper out so the log has something solid to butt up against before I dog it down. So, but yeah, I think that's all of the, I know I got a lot more comments, but a lot of it is, just saying, it's hard working by yourself, tough wearing all the hats. Yeah, I have milled by myself before, and when we first got the mill, I used to do a lot by myself. And then after Judy got more comfortable being around the mill, that's when she started helping more. But the first about two months or so that I had the mill, I was pretty much milling by myself. And it's not fast. It definitely takes some time, having to walk around the engine and then walk back. It definitely takes a lot more time, but everyone had to get used to a big giant blade spinning at really high speeds. But I grew up, my grandfather was a bricklayer, so by the time I was old enough, I started working, helping him use power tools and building houses. And then my dad had a landscape business, so I grew up behind lawnmowers and weed whackers and chainsaws. And growing up, our only source of heat was wood heat. We had a wood stove, and we wake up sometimes in the morning, 6-7 o'clock in the morning, and the house would be like 60 degrees. And my parents was like, well, if you're cold, go split some firewood and start the wood stove. So that's what I grew up with. So I was always around splitting logs, splitting firewood. So I grew up around heavy equipment. So getting this circle mill wasn't, you know, any different than running a lawnmower or a chainsaw, or, you know, coming close to anything that's sharp and fast and that can take your life in an instant. So, but yeah, they had to get used to it. They didn't grow up. My wife grew up in a landscape family, but she never really used any circular saws or chainsaws or anything like that. She just did grass cutting, weed whacking, and lawn fertilization. So yeah, I started off milling by myself. So yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely a lot easier with Judy and the boys up here. And I never take them for granted. So I always appreciate the help. But I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys spend much time on TikTok and want to see some videos over there. I try to put out some shorts, some YouTube shorts, but once I get into a project, I hate stopping and grabbing my phone and recording some stuff to throw on there. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, let's go and check out the sawdust in the sawdust shed, so we can compare. You guys can see what that looks like. This is where I keep my metal detector when it rains. Keep it out of the rain, and this way it's always up here at the mill. But I mean, you can see, you know, the quality. Like, this is pine here. The last log I did was pine, and those are some nice. That's like nice quality sawdust, and it smells really good. But let's see here. We can get down to the poplar. Oh, there we go. There's some poplar there. Yeah, you can see the yellow in it. But yeah, even with the poplar, it's got almost the consistency is almost the same. Now with hardwood, if you look up here, this is like the really fine, sawdust. This is just like powder. That's really not much sawdust. That's the kind of stuff you get off a bandsaw mill. And that stuff, you can just see how it just clouds. Yeah. That stuff there. There has been some debate whether or not you should use sawdust in a chicken coop. We use sawdust in our chicken coop, but we use that sawdust and not the stuff that comes off like a bandsaw or a circular, like a skill saw, because that stuff is really too fine. And some people are saying sawdust is really bad for chickens, because it gets in their lungs and it can kill them. But this sawdust here, it's not a fine powder, so when they're in the chicken coop, they don't really stir up a lot of actual dust. We use it in our chicken coop, and we haven't had any issues. And well, we've had the mill for about 3 years now, 3-4 years, something like that. So we haven't had any issues with it. But all right, I think that's going to be it for today. Just wanted to talk about that guy stealing all my videos, and trying to make a profit off of me. But yeah, I have a few people that have gone over there and reported his channel, and then I have someone that went over there and just started posting, commenting on every single one of my videos with all my contact information to our YouTube channel and everything. So so I really appreciate that. So but until next time, you guys take care.